Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. As always, I thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, which hopefully you find informative. And when you go to your local bookstore, you use it as a guide to what you might purchase at the store. The book today for sports fans, more specifically baseball fans, is GIBBY, Tales of a Baseball Lifer by John Gibbons and Greg Oliver. This is published by ECW Press and it retails for $36.99. Baseball season is in full swing, pardon the pun, and those who were fans of the Blue Jays certainly knew John Gibbons. He's the most entertaining person and manager, and the book is most interesting. We find out about his career, how he came up in the minor leagues, how he was signed, drafted by the Mets back in 1980. He was a catcher, and he progressed through the ranks of the Mets organization, through the farm teams, the AAA league, the AA league, and he finally became not quite an everyday catcher, but he was there most of the games. He was part of the New York Mets when they won the World Series back in 1986. Now, he joined the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2002 as a bullpen catcher. Then he progressed to a first base coach. But in 2004, when the Toronto Blue Jays were not doing very well, they fired their coach at the time, or manager, Carlos Tosca, and John Gibbons took over. He was at the helm for up until 2008, when in mid-season, I think it was June of 2008, he was fired because the Jays were definitely underperforming. So he talks about a lot of people, players that were part of his teams, acquaintances in the baseball world, and then the Blue Jays decided, hey, let's go with John Gibbons again. So in 2013, he was rehired as manager. But things were a little different, as he notes, because back in 2013, the team was actually trading and signing quality players. Now, these were the days of Jose Bautista, Edward Encarnacion, and Josh Donaldson, and many others. Now, coincidentally, Josh Donaldson writes the foreword to this book. And in one particular game that they talked about, he had a confrontation back in the dugout with Josh Donaldson, and it got a very heated debate about whatever they were disagreeing with. And obviously, they mended their fences because he did write the foreword to the book, Josh Donaldson did. Now, John Gibbons stayed with the Blue Jays. He led them to a championship in 2016. But of course, as I mentioned, the team was much better player-wise. So he had a lot more options when he made his managerial decisions. He did leave the team back in 2018. But he does talk now about rule changes to the baseball game, where you cannot run to the the catcher when you slide into home plate. That the catcher has to give you like a lane where you can slide into. At second base, you can't slide into the second baseman if you're trying to break up the double play. And he doesn't like the rules specifically. He thinks they're a little too soft now. And since the book was written, there's even more baseball rules, that were changed with the 20-second timer, the clock, and so many other changes. But in the book, he shows his humorous side. There are a lot of humorous anecdotes about certain players that he came up in the farm team with, and he managed, and he knew personally. So it's definitely a book for baseball fans, especially Toronto Blue Jays fans. If you're a fan of the Blue Jays and you remember John Gibbons, you will certainly find this book most entertaining, and one to add to your baseball library. Even if you're not a Blue Jays fan, just to see the thoughts of a former manager. Didn't matter who he managed, he still talks about the game and those players that he knew personally. So that's the book I wanted to draw to your attention. If you do purchase it, please let me know whether you agree or disagree with my review. So, until we meet again with another classic book, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.